Alright, guys, today's a special episode because we finally hit 1,000 subs. So, thank you to everyone for that. Hopefully, my videos have been helping some of you guys out. And honestly, the main reason I ever even started this channel was because I remember when I started playing Epic 7 and I was really looking for guide videos on very specific content like 6-starring heroes and how to PvP and stuff. And all the content that I was looking for was buried under like hour-long videos where people were just mainly talking about waifus and husbandos and just ranting on random things. And I really wanted to make guide videos where if I could go back in time and kind of search it all over again, I could just find like 15-minute videos that actually discuss the topics that I was interested in. So obviously I have other filler content like Guild Wars and RTA and stuff, but hopefully my guide videos in particular have been helping you guys out in my hero reviews. And thanks again for the 1,000 subs. So anyways, for this episode, I think what we're going to do is do an account overview because as I get more subs, I get more and more questions about, what my gear is like, what my heroes are like, what my goals are currently, like do I buy packs, etc., etc. And I figured I'd answer all those questions today, and I'll do these at like every X subscriber milestone so you guys can kind of see my progression. I did do an account overview previously, like 4 months ago, so you could check out that one. But let's get started right away. So let's start with packs. Do I really buy packs? Because people ask, like, are you F2P, whatever? No, I'm not F2P. I'm more of a dolphin, so I always buy the monthly packs because they're the best bang for the buck. I have never ever bought a leaf pack. If you look at my leafs, you see that I have more than enough leafs. If you watch my videos, you know that I hate doing hunts and stuff, and I only use leafs during hunt bonus events. But nowadays I've started doing it because I find that even in hunt events, my leaf count just keeps going up because of these mailbox energies. So I'm going to start using leafs now. As long as I have like 150 for hunt events, I think I'm fine. I don't need 400 ever. I don't buy Moonlight packs. I don't buy Mystic packs. I think I would buy, like, if there was an Arbiter Vildred banner, I'd probably buy a Mystic pack, but in general, I don't buy them out every month like a lot of whales do to get every ML5. The packs that I do buy there are none right now, but sometimes they have, like, event packs, like, for example, the Guilty Gear pack, where it's like $100 and they give you, like, 20 Galaxy bookmarks. Those quote-unquote special packs, I do buy those, so that's basically what I buy, the monthly packs and any special packs. I don't know if you guys would consider me a whale then or a dolphin, but that's basically the only packs I buy. Hero-wise, I average around 1U 6-star a week, but most of them end up just being bench. You'll notice I have a tremendous amount of just benched 6 stars that I never use, and they just have like fodder gear. Let's go over my gear and stats for each of these heroes real quick so you guys can just see them. I'm not going to talk too much about them. My Surmi I use a lot in Guild Wars. Her damage is a little lower than it used to be because I got her to 100% crit chance because you kept breaking it with like 95% crit. Araz, I like him a lot. His gear is nothing special, but it's passable. I use him in like all content, and he's pretty good. He usually uses Adamant. I took it off him. I don't forget who I put on for now. My Lilius is garbage by today's standards. I mean, a lot of Liliuses nowadays have like 27k HP, like 220 speed. I do need to fix her up. I did max awaken her recently. She has like a few molas in her, like +6, but not that many compared to people who use her heavily. She's very good in RTA, so I will fix her eventually. My K-Ron is pretty decent, like nothing crazy by today's standards. Again, all my gear is not that great anymore. But he's fine. He works in RTA. His crit damage is a little low, but otherwise he's a standard anti-cleave build K-Ron. My Tamarin's garbage, but I only use her in PvE, and in PvE these stats are completely fine, even for Hell Raid, so I don't care about changing her gear ever. She's fine with her level 67 and 70 gear. Crow, he's decent. His speed is on the low end, and I really want to bump his effect resist up because I hate when he gets provoke locked in RTA. Nowadays, Crows will have like 25, 26k HP and like 220 speed with reforging. Mine's nowhere near that tier, but he's passable. Tywin I don't use much anymore. I mean, he's just a cleaver. I used to use Basar, Tywin, Cdom, Judge Kisei a lot. So he still has the same gear from like 8 months ago. I use him occasionally, but really not that much. Alexa's just a Wyvern person. This is my crappy Alexa's gear. I don't really care to make it any better because my Wyvern 13 runs have like 90% consistency now. My SSB is not that great. She's okay. She's slow. She's not really tanky enough. I'd really like to bump up her health to like 15k. Her crit damage is a little on the low end. And her speed is atrocious. I mean, I have seen some SSBs that have similar stats to mine while still having like 180, 190 speed. But honestly, if I could get her to 150 speed, like more defense, more life, the problem with SSB is people always try to kill her first. So you really kind of want to make her a little tankier when you're using her in PvP. Amomo is probably my best geared hero. I'm very happy with my Amomo. 1600 defense, 19,000 life, 150 effect resist. Now, some people would say this effect resist is too low. I mean, yeah, like sometimes extremely high effectiveness Bassars and Dizzies can still get her, but she'll resist anyone that isn't stacking like 100 plus effectiveness, and that's not that many heroes. So I'm fine with it. I'd rather her be really tanky so she can't be kind of burnt down. But maybe one day I could switch her ring to an effect resist ring. But in general, she hasn't been struggling with this build, so this is what I use for her so far. Alencia is my pet project. So in terms of what I'm trying to build, I'd say Alencia is on top of the list. She's at plus 11 now. I really want to get those last few molas in her to make her really strong. Her gear is not that good. Her crit chance is too low. I might have to put her on her crappy artifact, the Alencia's Wrath thing. And her speed's kind of bad. Like, I was watching some other video where a guy had better stats than me in every regard, plus his Alencia was 200 speed. So that's kind of bonkers and really shows how bad my gear is compared to some of these legend players. My Charles is a beast. Like, honestly, he hits really freaking hard. In RTA, he's too squishy, though. Like, problem with Charles, he's kind of like SSB. Like, Charles and SSB are heroes where if you pick them, they're going to Zerg them first. And my Charles is not on speed set, he's on Elbrus, so it nullifies his counters if you just focus him. So as strong as he is, he's probably one of the harder hitting Charles out there. Really, I need to switch him to counter. I just don't have any counter gear. That way, I can kind of dissuade people from just tunneling him. Although, honestly, you'd probably still go after him anyway. But right now on speed set, he is no threat to most people if you just attack him. So that's another pet project of mine in the future, if I do Banshee. My Bassar is a joke. 233 speed. If you watch my other content, you know I always make fun of my Bassar. I'm not kidding, he's a joke. Like, my speed gear is freaking awful. Like, he's using a plus 12 sword. What the hell's going on? Oh, I clicked on it, I guess. But yeah, he's pretty much complete garbage at this point, but against teams where they're really slow, he'll still go first. Gunther, nothing to say here, I don't use him. My Judge Kisei is a little weaker than she used to be because if you remember my old videos, I ran her on 50% crit because she was always with Tywin or Sedom. Now that I use her with Ox slots, I had to sacrifice some stats to get her up to a decent amount of crit. With Sedom's imprint, it's close to 100%, but yeah, I mean, ideally if I wanted to run her without Sedom at all, I'd have her crit chance a little bit higher for consistency. LQ Charlotte is another project of mine. I really need to fix her up. Way too squishy. Her defense values are terrible. She gets blown up quick. Her speed is too slow so she doesn't turn cycle. Ideally, I'd put her on Durandal or Portrait. Her crit chance and crit damage and attack, I think, are fine. Like, they're not, like, top tier or anything, but if I can maintain those same offensive stats and fix her speed and defense, she'll be somewhat viable. She is very strong in high-end RTA. Araminta, I barely use her anymore. I regret not trading her for Arbiter Vildred. I do like her a lot, but she has been benched for a long time. In RTA, she has some use, but again, I just don't have the gear for her. I don't have enough gear to go around. Commander Lorena on garbage gear. I think the only thing I use her for, now that I cleared Abyss a while back, is one of those Hell Raid bosses where you can't debuff them. Other than that, I never use her, and her gear is pretty trash. ML Ken. My ML Ken is fine for all content except RTA. I'm finding in RTA, you have to kind of switch up your ML Ken build. Mine has like next to no crit chance. He's on a weaker end, and he has no speed. And the problem with this is, in RTA, they just ignore him. They're just going to ignore an ML Ken like this. Like, he's fine if you're attacking into him, and you can control that in, like, Arena and Guild Wars where you're abusing an AI. In RTA, they're not going to attack your MLCan until they have their setup done. So my kind of build is pretty useless in RTA, except as an anti-cleaver. But if you want to use him more balanced, I think I need to sacrifice some defensive stats and go for more offensive stats, so that even if you don't go on MLCan, he's still somewhat of a damage threat. FCC, I'm okay with her gear. It's decent. Again, it's just a matter of reforging. Like, a lot of FCCs are getting my same stats, but they have like 29k HP now. It's just a matter of reforging everything. Acid is garbage. I do want to fix him. He's too slow. He's too weak. It's just, his gear's not that great. I mean, he does have 2 reforged pieces because I was trying to make him faster, but I mean, like, look at things like this. Like, it's just not going to cut it. Doesn't cut it. But, he's probably like a, you know, like a low tier project for me. My C-Dom, she's fine. Nothing special, but decent attack, decent crit damage. Really, you're going to run her with someone that has 100% crit to push her up. Nothing special. My Caesarado is okay, but honestly, kind of like the same problem as LQ Charlotte. Because of the way my 88 Abyss gear rolled, I have him on lifesteal. Way too squishy, way too high attack. Probably hits a little harder than the average Serrato, even with his crappy crit damage, but his defensive stats, just not good enough. I need to get him to at least like 1200 defense, 14k HP. My Spectre Tenebria is working for me, but her stats are honestly pretty bad. The crit chance is unacceptably low. Ideally, I could probably... I mean, she hits hard enough. You could probably siphon away some of this attack. Might even want to make her a little bit tankier to deal with like random AoEs like Lilius's and Alencia's that slowly whittle her down. But I do need to get her to like at least 90% crit. Ideally, I'd get her to like 300 crit damage as well. I also kind of want to bump up her speed just a little bit, maybe like 170. I think 150 is a little on the slow end. Ken, PvE All-Star, don't use him in PvP. Luna, I'd never use, period. Dizzy is naked, don't use her. I might build her eventually. I did put a few molas into her. Angelica, never used. DN, pretty bad. I think the main stat I want to work on for her is effect resist. Like, I actually won't even pick her against something like a Lilius because she just gets provoked and then she's completely useless. You need to get some effect resist on DN to prevent early disables like being provoked, something like that. Elena, don't use. Lilibet, don't use. Vildred, don't use. Saria, don't use. I use her occasionally in like PvE. I used her for Abyss. Ray is another project of mine. I do want to build him because I'm sick of like Caesarado, Dizzy, Bassar teams. I usually beat them anyway, but it just takes forever, and I'd like to just bring Ray and make it faster. I can also build DJ Bassar, but I just never liked him for some reason. Maybe it's the fact that he's like naked. I don't know. I just don't like him. Akart, don't use, but he's fine. Troublemaker's built. Mine's kind of stacked on effect resist and a little lower health and speed than the average one. I just don't want him to get disabled. Oh, that's where the A-Roz's Adamant went. Oxalot is my fastest, or second fastest character after Ace, and you'll notice he is not very fast at all by today's standards. So, again, my speed gear is just not that good. The chest is okay, even though its lifesteal sets 19 speed. Everything was like 11, 13, 13, 13. It's just not enough by today's standards. And in terms of 6 stars, that's really all I have actually built. I have a million, level 50s, a million dogs, and my inventory is just absolutely cluttered with crap. I have 3 unknown slates that I'm still saving up because I don't know who to put them into. And that's my hero situation. In terms of gear situation, I mean, I have barely anything reforged. Like, I have 6 total pieces of reforged gear. Top Legend players now probably have like 30, 40 plus. But I'm very anal about what I'm reforging. And yeah, it's just something I'm going to have to keep working on. None of this stuff is particularly good. But yeah. I have a tremendous amount of plus 15 pieces, but the vast majority of it is not that good. The thing is, honestly, the higher tier Legend players would probably just end up foddering a lot of the crap that I have. But the thing is, I have so many backup heroes that if stuff doesn't roll the way I want it, a lot of times, instead of just getting rid of it, I'll stick it on some of my backup characters. You'll notice I have a decent number of geared characters. The lesser I use them, the worse their gear is. but at least they're still on plus 15 gear. So if they really, really hard counter something, they're still viable even though their gear is significantly below average. I don't really have anything that amazing. I mean, my best gear is probably the stuff I reforged. This one's not good, but has 17 speed. This is pretty damn good stat-wise. I mean, this is solid. This is okay as well for an immunity weapon. This is like decent. The stats are kind of all over the place. This one, it's like the only speed boot I got with crit chance and crit damage. These are actually pretty good. And this doesn't look that great, but for something like a Momo, it's actually pretty solid. Like, it's all defensive stats. So that's kind of my gear situation, probably my weakest situation right now. I just need to continue doing hunts and try to fix that up. In terms generally of what I have, in terms of heroes, I have pretty much every non-ML hero in the game that I actually care to have. Like Lulic I don't have, I don't even care about her. Here I don't want Charlotte or Ballin Cezanne or Kisei, don't care. Don't want Cez, don't want Violet, don't want Chloe. I mean, not that those heroes are bad or anything, I just don't need them for anything. SC changes, I'm working on them just to get rid of dogs, but honestly, the stuff I have built I can't see myself using anyway. I don't even use 90% of the ones that I have built in terms of SC. Adventure Roz and A Momo are the only ones that get any usage. F Clury is very good, but I just don't have any. I have enough Knights to gear without having another one. ML heroes, I'm missing a bunch that I want. Missing a bunch. If you watch my summon series, you know my ML summons are usually bricks. I really want Watcher Shuri. I really just want a lot more 4-stars. I'm not being negative. Like, I want Sinful Angelica, I want SS Acades, and I want Fighter Maya and Watcher Shuri. I can't seem to get them. In terms of ML5, because I like RTA the most, my top priorities are Ruel and Arbiter Vildred. I also want Dark Corvus and Maid, although they're kind of second tier for me. And I would say Athletica is a top tier RTA pick. Problem is, that's a speed pick and my speed gear is bad, so honestly, I'd benefit a lot more from Ruel and Arbiter Vildred, where I can kind of go a bruiser comp. So, PvP-wise, I've been in Champion Arena for forever. I don't really push Legend anymore. For those of you guys who don't know, it resets, at least for me, in Eastern Standard Time, 1 a.m. on Sunday. So for me to do Rush Hour, I'd have to stay awake till 1 in the morning Sunday every Sunday. No way in hell I'm doing that, so I don't really care about that. World Arena, I'm also Champion. I'm honestly struggling. Like, regular Arena, I can get to Legend, High Legend, pretty much whenever the hell I want, because you're just versing AIs and stuff, and you can just compensate for being undergeared by countering them. World Arena, I'm struggling mightily because you're actually versing human beings, and they'll make smart decisions, and the gear differences matter significantly more than they matter in regular Arena, where you could just abuse it. And I think that's about it. We talked about my heroes, my equipment, my goals, which is mainly to build out LQ Charlotte, Alencia, and some other key RTA heroes, and to obviously grind more equipment. And I think that about covers it. I showed you guys all my heroes, so if you guys have any more questions about my account, what I'm trying to accomplish, what my future goals are, just leave it in the comment section below. Again, thanks for the 1,000 subs. I hope this channel has been entertaining and helpful for a lot of you guys. And thanks for watching. Till next time, guys. Peace out.